You know, when people talk about avoidant types in love, the common assumption is that they're indifferent, cold, even emotionless. But if you've ever loved someone like that, you'll understand. Silence on the outside doesn't mean there isn't a storm inside. And during that no-contact phase, the empty pause you think is nothing, that's actually when their mind is full of contradictions. Picture this. You walk away, you go silent, you're no longer the one sending good morning texts or soothing them at night. They might sit there with arms crossed, looking like they couldn't care less. But inside, a question starts echoing. Are you with someone else now? Is there someone out there appreciating you more than I ever did? That's the fear of being replaced, something avoidants rarely admit, yet it eats away at them day after day. One of my clients, a man in his mid-30s, once confessed that when his partner cut off contact, he couldn't stop picturing her holding hands with another guy. He didn't call, he didn't text, but every night as he lay in bed, his mind tormented him with that image. And as you probably know, imagination is always harsher than reality. At the same time, another hope sneaks in. They want you to become more emotionally independent. In their mind, if one day you come back, you'll return as a calmer version of yourself. Less demanding, less pressure on intimacy. They want to believe this distance will make you need them less, which in turn makes the relationship feel safer for them. But do you see the paradox here? They want you to change, but at the same time they're terrified you'll change too much and leave them for good. And then there's a very subtle yet deeply conflicted desire. They want to be missed, but they don't want to be needed. Avoidants often crave the feeling of being important, that they still live in your thoughts. But at the same time, if you show too much neediness, too much clinging, they'll retreat even further. It's a fragile balance, like walking a tightrope. Take one step too close and they feel suffocated, one step too far and they panic at the thought of being forgotten. In therapy sessions, I often ask my clients, do you want to be loved without being tied down? Many avoidants sit in silence for a long time when faced with that question. And that silence is in itself the answer. They can't easily admit that they both want and fear, that they both long for intimacy and avoid it at the same time. There's another layer that often goes unnoticed. They secretly want you to be the one to break the silence. In the past, whenever there was distance, you were the one who reached out, who bridged the gap, who melted their coldness. So deep down, they're still waiting for you to do it again. They won't say it out loud, but every day you stay silent, they register it, they feel it. That waiting is often laced with both hope and despair. And maybe the most delicate wish of all, they want you to understand them without them having to say a word. Avoidants are often terrified of exposing their inner world. They want you to somehow see through the distance and recognize it for what it really is, fear of intimacy, not rejection of love. They want to believe that you'll translate their silence into a quiet cry for help. But you see, that's just an illusion. Because no one can ever truly be understood unless they find the courage to speak. In the end, deep down, they still hold on to one image, that you keep a place for them in your heart. Even after silence, even after you've walked away, they want to believe you're loyal, that you're waiting, that you haven't fully closed the door. That thought comforts them, like a soothing balm against the terror of abandonment. So let me ask you this. Have you ever felt like you were living for someone else's unspoken expectations instead of living true to yourself? Have you ever found yourself waiting for a signal from them, while at the same time, they were secretly hoping you'd be the one to make the first move? The important thing here isn't about guessing exactly what they're thinking. What truly matters is that you don't lose yourself in that silent tug of war. Because in the end, no contact isn't a tactic to make them come back. It's an opportunity for you to come back to yourself. And you know what's interesting? In that silence, avoidants often crave clarity, yet they don't want to open up directly. They won't ask you, do you still love me? Or, where are we headed? Instead, they quietly search for clues. An Instagram story, a Facebook post, or even the last text you sent. They connect the dots, analyze, and then paint a picture in their mind, one that's often far from reality. One female client once told me she could spend hours rereading old conversations with her avoidant ex. Not to revisit the words themselves, but to see if he had hidden something between the lines. That's exactly how avoidants tend to operate, seeking clarity without dialogue because to them real dialogue feels risky. And here lies the contradiction. Even while they push you away, they still want you to prove you're worth loving. They want you to cross the distance, to push through the silence, and to show them you won't abandon them. It's an unspoken test. If I pull back, will you still be there for me? But do you see how unfair that is? The harder you try to prove yourself, the more drained you become. That said, I should add this. Deep down, not every avoidant is trying to control or test their partner. Some genuinely hope that the space will help both people grow, to learn how to love in healthier ways. They may not always be conscious of it, but sometimes their silence is just a clumsy attempt at finding balance. But there's yet another contradiction. At first, they might see no contact as a way to punish you, to make you feel the sting of abandonment. Yet as time passes, the fear creeps in. Did I push them too far away? Is this door now closed for good? What begins as punishment slowly shifts into hope, and that reversal pulls them into an anxious spiral. Deep down, what they truly crave is emotional safety. Many avoidants grew up in environments where showing feelings meant getting hurt. So as adults, they long for a space calm enough to finally lay down their armor. They want the reassurance that if they ever expose their vulnerability, the other person won't take advantage, won't leave, won't judge. But the paradox is, they usually choose silence instead of openly asking for that. During the separation, the image of you in their mind often becomes an idealized version. They remember the best parts, exaggerate them, even romanticize them. This leaves them both nostalgic and pressured. If we meet again, will they be disappointed when I don't live up to the memory they've been holding on to? And as you can see, sometimes imagination ends up hurting them far more than reality ever could. And here's where I want to pause and ask you, are you losing yourself in the effort to meet those unspoken expectations? Remember, no contact isn't a contest to see who can hold out the longest. It's an opportunity to return to yourself, to rediscover peace, confidence, and clarity within your own heart. If you feel these reflections resonate with you, go ahead and give this video a like so the message can reach more people. And don't forget to hit subscribe, because I'll be here to walk with you on your journey of healing and building a healthier, more mature kind of love. You truly deserve that. Before we wrap up today, I want to give you a little gift. I've put together a completely free ebook for anyone who wants to dive deeper into the avoidant attachment style. Inside, I share practical tools and step-by-step guidance to help avoidants not only connect more easily in their relationships, but also build greater confidence and find success in both work and life. You can download it right now through the link in the description below this video. Thank you all so much.